All right, here we are with Ava and Haley, and these are obviously rats. Probably not everybody's favorite. You know, I think you had mentioned earlier that they kind of get a bad rap, that, you know, who would want to have a rat. But the key to all of these small animals, when we have them in our home, is handling them, right? That they need to be well socialized. They need to trust. And I know that your wife, Carrie, comes in, and she's been working with Haley and Ava. And because they don't know either one of us, we've opted not to take them out of their cage today. But they're kind of looking at me like, take me out. I want to be moving around. And again, I want to draw attention to the habitat that they are in. They have a wheel. And now we didn't have a wheel for guinea pigs, don't do wheels.
Right.
But rats, hamsters, gerbils, they do the wheel, so they have their little exercise wheel. You just are fascinated with my fingers here. So they use that for exercise. But as a whole, this particular cage, again, really not adequate.
No, I mean, the general mechanics of this cage, how there's a lot of levels for them to run around, things like that, that's what's great for rats. But on a larger scale. I mean, you really want to have more room.
We really need to triple this.
Yeah, and I mean, and having it be tall instead of wide, if you don't have a lot of space in your home, is great. They love having lots of room to run up and down. Oh yeah.
Okay.
So,
and I see they have the water bottle. They also have something to hide under, like we had for the guinea pigs, so that if they feel threatened. They have some of the similar toys as the rabbits and the guinea pigs, something to chew on. What do they eat for food?
With food, they really need a specific sort of like kibble or block type food, and we have over here what we call Regal Rat, and there's that really has a lot of the specific nutrients that rats really need, because you can't just feed a rat. I mean, a lot of people think of rats as like garbage animals. They can just eat whatever is laying around or eat any other type of food, but really they do have a lot of specific nutritional needs that are met by a specific rat food.
Okay, and then temperature. Do they need a certain temperature?
I mean,
as far as
living quarters like a human.
Okay,
you know, like,
so
I mean,
not too cold, not too.
Yeah, as long as they're not freezing and it's not 120 degrees. They're I mean, like a human. If it's hot, they like to cool down, and if it's
and
too
again,
cold.
I noticed that they have bedding in the bottom of their cage here, and again, it's the aspen bedding, which doesn't have the
aromatic oils.
Aromatic oils in it. And can they be litter box trained?
Not really. Okay,
so again, it's a matter of cleaning up those soiled areas on a daily basis. Again, I see the water bottle. Can you set up, are there tube things for the rats also? Those toys where they kind of travel through the tunnels? Or
those are more so specifically for like gerbils and hamsters and things like that. A lot of them are, I mean, because you see how big the rats are, they're substantially larger than those smaller mammals. So, I mean, as long as they have sort of obstacles to run around or little ladders to run around, they're all right. Usually they don't really need the tubes, although if you can create something, I mean, great. Anything that can stimulate them, because they are very active. They since they are so intelligent, they really do need a lot of stimulation and a lot of interaction.
So can you teach them things?
Oh, absolutely. Like I mean, there's a reason that science labs use rats for their experiments. Their brains are very advanced as far as small mammals go. They can do the mazes, like everyone I'm sure is familiar with. You can teach them to walk on a little wire, do all sorts of other little tricks. So they are very, very intelligent, and they do require that stimulation.
Do I need to get a baby rat in order to socialize it, to handle it? Do I have to worry about, you know, getting bit?
Not at all. I mean, with these rats are relatively mature, being you know, coming up on between 6 months and a year old. And they're friendly. I mean, as long as a rat, as a baby, isn't terrorized like any other animal, it's going to be open to being socialized with humans.
So if I go and pick it up, it's not going to just automatically bite me?
The only time...
But if I stick my finger in the cage, it might bite me,
if they think it's a treat or if they think it's food.
Because I'll just demonstrate, because I was doing this before, you know, and it's not fair. In my book, this is kind of like teasing. You know, it's like, I don't really have anything for you, and, you know, they're like, hey, so if you stick your finger in there, you deserve to be bitten. So, but opening the cage and picking them up and playing with them.
Or sort of, if you have space that'll work, opening the cage and kind of letting them investigate and come out on their own. And, I mean, with a lot of small mammals, that's always a good practice, is letting them get comfortable with coming out of their their personal zone and investigating the area.
Investigating the new territory rather than us picking them out and kind of shoving them. Now, are there foods that we need to avoid with them that can cause diarrhea or digestive upsets with these guys?
You really want to be careful on the quantities and frequency with which you offer fresh vegetables and fruits and things of that sort. And really, again, shy away from feeding anything but rat food, because providing anything else for them is gonna cause problems, not being balanced properly.
Okay. So feed them a balanced diet, give them a larger environment, meet their needs with exercise and toys. Any idea how long rats live?
I'm not exactly sure actually, but I'm pretty certain they live in the range of right around, I'd say like 6 years.
Okay.
But that's my best guess.
Would this be a pet that you would recommend for small children?
Small children, not particularly, but maybe like an older child, a child that is already responsible. I sort of want to stress how small mammals should be considered not a pet to build responsibility, but a pet for a child that is responsible, that considers and knows how to take care of other things.
Because they really are kind of fragile.
Yeah, I mean they're living animals. So.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit. We don't have any gerbils and hamsters right now. They're those little tiny little ones that run around and really go nuts on the wheel. Do they need kind of the same setup as the rats have here?
Well,
but they have the colorful tubes.
They like having little tubes and tight spaces to walk through. And with small things like gerbils and hamsters, they love burrowing. So even though they're going to have the same type of bedding, you want to put more of it in there so they can dig and make little burrows and climb through it.
Okay, so they're more nesters.
Yeah. I mean, rats are too, but having a lot of space for gerbils and hamsters to crawl through and dig around is good.
Okay, and again, cleaning up those messy areas of the cage on a regular basis, keeping them clean. Treats in small quantities for those guys so they don't get the diarrhea. Better to have one or better to have two? Does it matter?
I mean, I always say that it's good to have any sort of animal in pairs. I mean, they're going to get bored if they're by themselves. Okay. But you really want to watch it on the sexes because they reproduce quickly. Okay. So you got to be careful.
Are they nocturnal?
The gerbils and hamsters?
Yeah.
Not to my knowledge. Okay. I don't think they are.
Okay.
I mean,
because it always seems like they want to run on the wheel. You know,
when you're trying to sleep?
When you're trying to sleep.
The other thing about wheels, too, that you want to be careful of, like in here we have one of the wire wheels. Okay. You want to be really careful about those because any small mammal that has a tail, you run the risk of their tail getting caught. There have been cases of their tails being cut off in these wire wheels. So there are plastic wheels out there. They're not going to squeak on you, so it'll solve two problems right there.
Okay, I never thought of that. Yeah. And then, of course, they need the water bottle.
Yep, absolutely.
And some of the same toys, little things to chew on.
And well, with the smaller mammals like gerbils and hamsters too, I mean, and even with rabbits, guinea pigs, throwing like an old cardboard box from your granola bars or something in there, just something they can chew on to work down their teeth is perfect.
Okay, wonderful.
And the other thing too about gerbils and hamsters, you want to make sure you have the specialized food. I think we have a special food here, healthy handfuls. So you want to make sure you have the special food, and again, like rats, small amounts of veggies and fruits because
kind of like us with ice cream and candy, everything in moderation.
Well, too much at first is sort of like a shock to their system too. So you want to be careful on that. Otherwise, I'd say that gerbils and hamsters too are the only animals that can really have like nut type treats. Okay. Any other animal you want to avoid, but with gerbils and hamsters, the nuts are okay, again, in moderation. Okay, well, wonderful. Well, I certainly want to thank you, Adam, for being here today. We've learned a lot about the small little creatures that find their way to the shelter, and I hope that you at home have learned a lot about small mammals and will think twice before you bring any pet into your home. And until we meet again, happy tales to you.